Economics Optional Paper 2 is divided into three areas. First, Indian economy in pre-independence era. Here we study the economic history of India under British rule. Second, Indian economy in pre-liberalization era. That is, Indian economy from 1947 to 1990. The first 4 decades of planned economic development process of Indian economy. Third area, Indian economy post-liberalization era. That is, Indian economy under new economic policy. By new economic policy, we mean liberalization, privatization and globalization. We started new economic policy in India in 1991, the third area. Indian economy in post-liberalization era. Today we discuss Indian economy in pre-independence era. First, syllabus. So, collect syllabus directly from UPSC website. Economics Optional Paper 2. Indian economy in pre-independence era. Land system and its changes. Commercialization of agriculture. Drain theory. Laissez-faire theory and critique. Manufacture and transport. Jute, cotton, railways, money and credits. Limited syllabus only given by UPSC. We have to elaborate the syllabus. Next reference. First reference, Economic History of India by Tirthankar Roy. Second reference, Irfan Habib. Third reference, Spectrum Modern Indian History. Fourth reference, my book, Indian Economy by Sukail Sulthan. An essential handbook for UPSC Civil Services examination. Next, previous year questions. UPSC CSE 2022 Economics Optional Paper 2. First reader, question paper specific instructions. There are 8 questions divided in 2 sections. Candidate has to attempt 5 questions in all. Question numbers 1 and 5 are compulsory, and out of the remaining 3 are to be attempted, choosing at least 1 question from each section. Next, graphs, illustrations wherever required may be drawn given in the space provided for answering the question itself. These are question paper specific instructions. Questions from Indian economy in pre-independence era. Question number 1A. Examine the factors that facilitated commercialization of Indian agriculture during the British rule. Question directly from syllabus, directly from our class. Just cut and paste class note. Indian economy under British rule, all topics are static. Here we study economic history of India. We can prepare ready-made answers. All questions are from same topics. Questions are repetitive in nature. All questions from our class only. Next, so in our class we will discuss in detail. We will discuss point wise. So you have to write point wise. Point wise presentation is really good. Clear. Prepare limited notes. So here we noted 4 reference books. First Sulthan Roy, second Irfan Habib, third Spectrum Modern India, fourth my book Indian Economy by Sukail Sulthan, an essential handbook for UPSC Civil Services examination. Read these books only. In my class, I will give detailed notes, point-wise notes I will give. In my class, I will give detailed notes covering entire syllabus topics. My class notes sufficient. Revise my class notes. Clear. Next question. So first question. Examine the factors that facilitated commercialization of Indian agriculture during British rule. 10 mark question. Answer in 150 words. Next question. Question number 1B. Do you think that the new guarantee system was better than the old guarantee system in the history of railways in India? Give reasons. Again, question directly from our class. Clear. 10 mark question. Answer in 150 words. Next. Question from pre-independence era. Yes. Question number 5. Question number 5. A. Examine the arguments to explain the theory of economic drain Yes, next question from Indian economy under British rule. Question 5. Question 5A. Examine the arguments to explain the theory of economic drain from India in the second half of the 19th century. 10 mark question. Answer in 150 words. Again question from our class. Clear. Economic drain of India. Here we have to focus. Economic drain from India in second half of the 19th century. Directly from our class notes. Next, just cut and paste our class note only. Bas. Yes, questions from Indian economy in pre-independence era. For economics optional paper 2, total 250 marks. If we prepare systematic covering entire syllabus in detailed way, syllabus related topics, expected areas plugged with the current economic developments, etc. Total marks for economics optional 500. So for economics optional you should expect 330 plus marks. If we prepare well, we can score 300 plus marks in economics optional. So prepare well. We have a clear-cut syllabus. Read only limited material. Read only essential limited reference books. Study my class notes in detail. Our class is interactive in nature. You know the significance of optional paper and essay. Significance of optional and essay in UPSC CSE. In UPSC CSE we have to focus in getting maximum marks in mains written examination. So study well. Optional subject here economics and essay paper. Clear. Next, if we examine the first area in our economics optional paper 2, the first area, Indian economy in pre-independence era. Here we study the economic history of India under British rule. Indian economy under British rule mainly from 1600 AD to 1947. Britishers rule in India. The first phase, Indian economy under East India Company. Then transfer of power from English East India Company to British Queen in 1858. Here in UPSC CSE we study subtopic British colonial exploitation, forms of exploitation, consequences of exploitation. Next subtopic, commercialization of agriculture. Next, land system prevailed under British rule. Next, drain theory. Next, contributions of Dadabhai Navroji, father of Indian economy. Next, economy, Indian economy by 1947. The picture of Indian economy. We know in 1600 AD, India accounted nearly 28% of global total wealth. India's share in global total wealth nearly 28%. India was one of the richest regions in the world in 1600 AD. In 1600 AD, India was one of the richest regions in the world. By the end of British colonial exploitation, in 1947, India became one of the poorest countries in the world. By 1947, India's share in global wealth became below 1%. Look, the magnitude of British colonial exploitation. Simply we can say Britain exploited India economically at its maximum extent. In 1947, we started from scratch. In 1950, India started planned economic development process. So from this area, Indian economy in pre-independence era, questions are repetitive in nature. Limited syllabus only. All topics we know well. We can prepare ready-made notes. You know reference books. First reference, Economic History of India, Tirthankar Roy. Second, Irfan Habib. Third, Spectrum Modern India. Fourth reference, my book, Indian Economy by Sukail, Sulthan, an essential handbook for UPSC Civil Services examination. In my class, I will give detailed notes. If you prepare own notes, prepare notes in limited pages. You can prepare entire notes in 100 pages. In UPSC CSE, we have to depend limited material. Revise limited material. Here our focus is to get maximum marks in mains written examination. Next, if we prepare notes point wise. In civil services examination, point wise presentation is really good. Chance to get more marks. So prepare point wise and write answer point wise. Sorry. Point wise presentation is really good. So how to prepare point wise? Point wise preparation is really important. UPSC CSE is a competitive exam. Here we have to obey all instructions given by UPSC, body limit. Nowadays questions from Economics Optional Paper 2, 10 mark questions, 15 mark questions and 20 mark questions. 10 mark questions you can answer in 150 words. 20 mark questions you can answer in 300 words. Time is limited. For Economics Optional Paper 2, given time 3 hours. Time is limited. For Economics Optional Paper 2, given time 3 hours. So prepare point wise notes. Then how to prepare point wise notes? Take an example, take a topic. Forms of colonial exploitation. Forms or instruments of colonial exploitation used by Britishers in India. Used by Britain in India. First form. Next, first point. Unequal trade. Then sub-points under unequal trade. Second main point, forms of colonial exploitation. Second point, profitable. Second point, forms of colonial exploitation. Second point, profitable export of British capital and enterprises to India. Then subpoints of profitable exports of British capital and enterprises in India. Clear? You have to write. Then third instrument, employment of British nationals in colonial administration. Subpoints, the way of administration in India. The way of administration in India. The way of administration used by Britishers here in India helped them to get maximum benefits. Britishers to get maximum benefits. Another form of exploitation. We have to find out points under employment of British nationals in colonial administration. Next, fourth point. Fourth instrument. Fourth tools of exploitation. Drain of Indian resources in the form of excess merchandise exports. Then subpoints of drain of Indian resources in the forms of excess merchandise exports. Next, fifth point, manipulation of exchange rate. Manipulation of exchange rates to the advantage of Britain and to the disadvantages of India. Fifth point, forms of exploitation. Sixth point, adoption of preferential tariff favorable to Britain. Sixth forms of exploitation. You have to find out some points of this. Next, seventh point, exploitation of Indian resources, exploitation of India's resources for the purpose of conquest and war. Seventh form of exploitation. Next, extraction by company and its servants. Eighth form of exploitation. Initial stage of exploitation. Initial stages of their conquest of India, the Britishers plundered the country's wealth and resources by extraction by the company and its servants. Eighth form of exploitation. Ninth form, the company's servants and agents monopolized trade in certain items and used this monopoly to buy cheap and sell dear. Another form of exploitation. Next form of exploitation. Next point, 10th point, oppression and exploitation of artisans, indigo cultivators and merchants. The 10th form of exploitation used by Britishers here in India. Next, 11th point, 11th form of exploitation, taking over surplus resources. Here we have to elaborate, we have to write 2-3 sub-points of taking over surplus resources. So here we discussed 11 points, 11 forms of exploitations used by Britishers here in India. This way you have to prepare notes, revise, cut and paste. This is one way of preparation. This is the best way to give maximum points. This is the best way to get maximum marks in mains written examination. There should be ready-made answers. Clear? So prepare notes. There should be ready-made answers. So this is one form of note preparation. This way you can prepare your notes. Next topic, take consequences of British colonial exploitation. Consequences of plunder. This topic also we can prepare point-wise. First point. Indian handicrafts suffered a serious blow and declined. Artisans flooded to countryside. Second point. Third point. Indian merchants queued by the British. Fourth point. Flow of wealth from India. Drain of wealth. Stimulators. The Industrial Revolution in Britain. Industrial Revolution in England. Fifth point, next. Institution of a colonial system of exploitation. Sixth point. So, point-wise presentation is really good. Second example, point-wise presentation. Take a topic. Economic consequences of British rule. Prepare notes point-wise. Point-wise presentation is really good. Clear. So, here topic, economic consequences of British rule. Prepare ready-made answers. The first point, economic consequences of British period. First point, Indian economy experienced far-reaching changes during British period, which transformed it into colonial, semi-feudal, lopsided, stagnant and backward economy. You can present your own way, no problem. Point-wise presentation. So first point, colonial economy. First point. Clear. Colonial economy, we have to find out sub-points. Second, semi-feudal economy. Again, sub-points for semi-feudal economy. Write only 3 points. Semi-feudal economy. Third point, backward economy. By 1947, Indian economy became one of the poorest economies in the world due to British colonial exploitation. We have to give points here. Fourth point, so we can give more points, backward economy. At the end of British rule, India had a very backward economy, predominantly agrarian economy. Income was very low, income was unequally distributed. People lived in extreme poverty in 1947. Inequality at a high level. inadequate and unbalanced diet, ill health, illiteracy, unemployment, class and caste oppression in 1947, heavy burden of land revenue, unsystematic and exploitative administrative system, frequent famine. In 1947, literates in India only 17%, excluding children below 10 years. In 19, so these are the sub-points under backward economy, sub-points of backward economy. Clear? Next, fourth point, stagnated economy, stagnant economy. Next, fourth point, stagnant economy in 1947. Here, write sub-points. In my class, I will give. Next, depleted economy, fifth point, depleted economy. Clear? Next, imbued economy, sixth point. So prepare this way, point wise preparation. Imbued economy, under imbued economy we can write sub-points. Imbued economy. Clear? Prepare this way. Clear? Prepare notes. Indian economy under British rule. If you prepare own notes, prepare notes in maximum 100 pages. All points should be in your prepared notes. In my class, I will give all points. I will give detailed notes. Clear? So next topic, Indian economy. Next topic, Indian economy. So next topic, Indian economy in pre-independence era. Agricultural indebtedness. You can prepare agricultural indebtedness in 150 words, maximum in 200 words. Clear? Next topic, drain theory. Drain theory, it was first formulated by Dadabhai Naoroji in his famous book Poverty and British Rule in India. Clear? British period of capital formed. So in our class we will discuss in detail drain theory. Drain of wealth. Next topic, drain of wealth controversy of late 19th century. Prepare point wise, prepare notes. Prepare point wise notes. Next topic, drain of wealth controversy of late 19th century. Next topic, commercialization of agriculture. Laissez-faire theory and its critique. So in our class we will discuss all these theories in detail. I will give detailed notes covering all these areas.